Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I'm super excited for today's video because I'm going to be doing a first impressions on the new Glaminatrix Rich Romantic palette. So if you want to hear my thoughts on this palette, then please stick around for today's video and make sure you are subscribed before leaving today. I cannot wait to dive into this palette and put it on my eyes. Holy moly. Whenever they showed this palette on their Instagram, I literally gasped because it was so beautiful. Like, as a neutral lover, this was seriously like the prettiest palette I've ever seen. I cannot wait to just test the quality and see these beautiful shades in action. So first I want to pop up close-ups of the palette, of course, and read you all some information. Okay, so if you live in Australia, this palette will be launching Sunday the 8th at 8 o'clock a.m. And then if you live in the US, this palette will be launching on Saturday the 7th, and it will be launching at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this palette retails for 58 USD or 90 AUD. This palette has 15 shades. It comes with 7 beautiful shimmers and 8 matte shadows. So I want to zoom you in and let's get started with today's look. So if you do decide to pick up this palette, I did want to take a moment and show you the box that it will come in because it's such a beautiful floral print and it just had to have its time to shine. Literally, look at that, how pretty, just the little details in here. And then it also has the ingredients on the back in case you need to see it. Now let's show the beautiful palette. And if you're curious, the packaging, if you have the previous palette, the Sugar and Spice, it's identical, same size, and the shades are magnetic so you can mix and match them if you do have this one. I did want to point that out. So let's jump into it. This palette, I'm just looking and I see spring and fall. Honestly, it's like a year-round palette for me, like a daily palette. I kind of want to go more fall and see how, I don't know, fall-esque I can get it versus using like the bright poppy colors. So let's just go with that. I'm only going to be doing one look today. I have my eyes super irritated right now. I have a sty and I have to like clean my brushes, so I've taken the week off from filming. I'm going to go with Timeless first and just kind of use that for my transition shade today. So how are y'all doing? How's your day, night? I'm currently filming super late at night, so I'm just sleepy, but whenever this palette, like, I have been tracking it 24/7 since they sent it to me, and I'm so happy that she is finally here. I literally took off, ran into my mailbox and grabbed it. The box that it came in was pink. How awesome is that? I just love their packaging and the whole experience of it all. It arrived safe and sound. So yeah, I've been taking the week off because we have been sick. And of course I have like a sty. It's been very uncomfortable, but honestly we're doing better. I've just been chilling, watching movies. That's just kind of what we have been doing. That brown is so pretty. Now I want to go in with this more wine shade. It looks beautiful. I love a good maroon shade for the fall. I'm just going to layer that right on top. Their matte shades are so pigmented. I typically like to like pat like this versus over blend. So I just like to pat them in. Whenever I swatch this palette, everything swatched so amazingly. And it was just so deep and rich. I was like, wow, this is a good one. Okay, now I want to go in with a shimmer shade because those two mattes look beautiful, but I'll finish that up later. Now I want to go in with this one right here, Allure. It's such a beautiful, I don't know, bronzy green. It just is beautiful. So I have to go in with that one first, and then I'm going to layer on top. So pretty. This is probably the darkest shimmer in the palette, and this one's not like a shifty shade. It's just a beautiful metallic. I'm definitely going in with a metallic now. So I want to go with the shade Charming. It's a beautiful multi-chrome. It has some red shifts in there. I just love a bright, fiery multi-chrome. So that one, and they're so smooth. I mean, my goodness. It's green. I just can't wait to see how this shifts on the eye. So that's why I wanted to pair it with that green shade. I figured they would just play well with one another. I mean, that shade is so beautiful and sparkly. Exactly what I wanted. Oh, it's so smooth. I love that it's not chunky or flaky. It looks very flattering on the lids. That's what I've noticed with their shimmers. Before we do the inner corner, I'm going to go in with the shade Intoxicating up here. It's a very pale pink. Let me see. Is it pink? Yeah, it's almost like a creamy pink. I just want to blend out what I have going on. I'm so happy that they added this shade in here. It's going to be perfect for blending out and just kind of smoothing everything over. Now, one of my favorite shades in here, it's this shade right here, Romantic. It's a beautiful red, fiery, pinky multi-chrome. It has like peach in there. That's just, and it honestly has a green shift as well. But that's just like my favorite shade to put on the inner corner or layer on top of other shades. I can't help it. I love that warm fire pop. And I love that this shade is Romantic. I do not have a shade like this from Glaminatrix, so I'm very happy to finally have one of my favorite shades in their formulation because I love it. And I think you're going to be very excited to see just how smooth this formulation is from them. Okay, so I tried to show you right there in the mirror just how that flip is. Like, do you see it? It's so pretty. On the lower lash line, I want to go in with the shade Passion, which is this really deep brown. And it almost looks like they may have a little bit of green in here if you were to layer it with a green shimmer in the palette. I love how mattes can just kind of trick you like that. And then I want to put the shade Lover right on top, which is that beautiful red maroon, just the essence of fall for me. I love a shade like that. And their shades are very pigmented, so whenever I typically reach for it, I just like barely tap like that. That's all the pigment that I personally need, and it just smooths over perfectly. Okay guys, so this is a finished look. This is what I came up with. All I did off camera was add some mascara and put some of the shade Lover in my waterline just to make a little nice red romantic pop. And now I want to turn down the brightness. Okay, so here are those shimmers under low lighting. I didn't use like the super intense sparkly shades, but I absolutely love how these look. Obviously you're not walking around in the dark, but I just wanted to kind of show you how beautiful they twinkle in different lighting. But before we move on to my final thoughts, I just want to do one live swatch because I was not able to use the shade Rich right here, but this shade was captivating. Like, it took everything I had not to dive into it. It just looks incredibly beautiful. So this is one of the shades that I just wanted to look and see at the shifts and sparkle together. Wow, I could keep going. It's gonna get everywhere. It's beautiful. Wow. Look at that shine. You can see some of the shift. Not really. I'm seeing purple and blue, but you're seeing pink and gold. In the mirror, I see some teal. Just trust me, this shade is incredibly shifty and beautiful. Sorry I was only able to create one look today. I'm just dealing with lots of different eye issues, so I didn't want to stress them out too bad. But let's first start off with the packaging. I love the box that it came in. I think that the floral print is absolutely beautiful. Such a nice touch. And then as far as the palette goes, I love that we see this nice luxurious packaging from Glaminatrix because they are not affordable in a way. You know, $50 is a high price point, so I do like that. The packaging reflects that price point, and I do love that they also give us the aspect of using these as like magnetic shadows. You can pull them out, mix and match them, so I do like that creativity that the brand always tries to give us. And as far as the formulation goes, A+, it's amazing. If you do decide to buy this palette, you're not going to be disappointed with the formulation. They are so smooth and soft. Absolutely incredible formula. And the color story, I always say this, Glaminatrix, every time they launch a palette, I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Or like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. But honestly, I love that aspect. I think that they come up with the prettiest color stories that are not always just constantly being seen. They do really innovate different color stories and mix and match beautiful color combos. So as far as the color story, I think it is beautiful. If you are a neutral lover, and you know, I feel like indie brands, it can be very overwhelming if you're a neutral lover and you want to dabble in some color, but you've got duochromes, multi-chromes, holochromes, like so many different types of shimmery, shifty shadows, and indie brands, like, there's just so much, you know, out there. But it's if you just love neutral makeup, natural, but you want a fun pop, and you don't want singles, you just want one palette, I think that you will love this. I think that this will be your fun palette because you can keep it everyday wearable, or you can make it very fun and punchy with some of these pops in here. I think you will absolutely adore these shimmers without a doubt. They're neutral, but they're still fun at the same time. So definitely elevated neutrals right here. Adore them. And I wanted to compare it with Sugar and Spice. Yes. So I'm just going to hold them up together so you can see how beautifully they are going to pair if you would like to mix and match. But that's them up close. How beautiful. They're just, I don't know, there's something so aesthetically pleasing about them being the same size. And now also, if you love the Nearly Natural palette, like I said, if you love clearly I love this one. It's very used and abused. But if you do have this one, I did want to hold this up, comparing the new one so you could see them, how beautifully, one, they are different, and two, they will complement each other. How pretty. So I did want to show all three of these together. Thank you to Glaminatrix for sending this to me. I would have definitely bought this one. Let me know what palettes you were interested in at the moment. Right now, I was very interested in the Danessa Myricks, the Lightwork, was it volume 5 or 4? I'm going to go with 5. I think it's 5. And then this one. So if they didn't send me this, I was definitely going to be picking this one up because holy freaking moly, I cannot. It's perfect. I absolutely love everything about it, and I wouldn't change anything. And I do like how this is versatile within the looks you can create. You can go every day, date night. I mean, it's a year-round palette. I love the color story. I'm very pleased with this as far as formulation and color story goes. So you will be picking this one up, or are you going to be shopping your stash? But that's going to do it for today's video. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.